Director of Franchise Development for Get in Shape for Women. I really appreciate you guys jumping on today. So I look forward to taking you through this webinar and eventually having phone conversations with all of you in regards to what we go over here today. So the webinar focus, we're going to focus this in 3 different ways. We are going to start off with how to lose 12 to 30 pounds in 12 weeks or less. That is, you know, kind of our proprietary sales. You know, that's kind of how we attract sales, and that's what we do. That is how we create transformation. We create compelling transformation in a short period of time. And then we're going to take that, how to turn this passion of health and fitness into a meaningful career. That would be part 2, and that would be really, you know, focused on, you know, what the next steps are to become a member of the team. And then the third part is we'll focus on how to open your own Get in Shape Woman franchise, and we'll go through that whole process. So what we'll do first is we'll start with our positive focus. Now, positive focus is something we started doing after doing some offsite consulting. And what it really does is it gives us the opportunity to start a meeting off in a really positive mindset. Because we know that negativity and creativity, they can't live in the same mindset. So if you are entering with negative thoughts, with, you know, thoughts about the person who cut you off in the morning or a coworker who ticked you off, you're not going to be able to allow all the information in, and it's going to be jaded information. If you start with positivity, we really open up our minds. We allow for creativity, where we allow for learning, and that real positive mindset will give a much more effective and better meeting. So we start all our meetings off. It doesn't matter if it's a Monday morning 8 a.m. call, or if it's our annual convention with all of our owners and managers in attendance. So I'll start off, and I really suggest you guys doing this. I suggest you doing this either writing it down. You can send it in to me via the GoToMeeting thing, or you can just say it out loud or tell someone you're with. So my positive focus, I'll do a professional and a personal. Professionally, we have a really, really fun week so far. We have our annual convention coming up. So all of our owners are coming in from all over the country with their managers, and it will be 2 full days of just really focused, dedicated learning. It's a really great time. It's really exciting. We really enjoy doing it. Like I said, we have owners coming in from 17 different states, and we'll really have a good time doing this event. And at the end of it all, we have a big dinner, and it's really fun to kind of congratulate each other all for a great year. Now, personally, I live in the Northeast. I'm in I'm right outside Boston, and we have been getting pummeled by winter storms, but it's been a lot of fun. I have an 11-month-old who has really enjoyed just seeing all the snow and being in the snow, and, you know, playing in the snow as much as he can when it's not too cold out, and you know, just seeing, you know, those kind of like those phases are really fun for that. So I can't say that the snow has been all that bad. So next thing I want to start off with, guys, is our purpose, and this is part of our vision. Our vision kind of incorporates 3 different things: our purpose, our core values, and our current mission. And this is something, again, we put together after doing some consulting on how to continue to grow our business. And one of the things we really wanted to do is identify what our purpose was, and that's what they told us. You need to identify and define what your purpose is. You know, everybody has a purpose. I mean, every day you wake up with some sort of purpose, and every day you do what you do with some sort of for a purpose. Now, the thing is defining it, and then once you define it, living your life by that. So our purpose is to empower women through body transformation. 6 simple words, but they mean a ton. And everything that we do in our company all goes back to, are we empowering people, women, through body transformation? When we're changing up our workouts, when we're adding in new equipment, when we're hiring new franchisees, when we're bringing on new franchisees, when we're hiring new managers, when we're any of those things. every decision we do, we turn around and say, okay, will this decision help to complete our purpose of empowering women through body transformation? And it's really kind of a mirror that we get to hold up for ourselves to make sure that we're running our business the proper way, and we're leading, and we're not going off astray there. Now, part of that is also defining what our core values are. And our core values is what we hold to be the most important thing, and then we put these core values out into the world, and by putting them out into the world, it does one of two things. If you believe in them, and it's something that you want to be attached to, it draws you in. It makes you want to be part of. We want you to be part of us. You want to be part of us because we see that you have the same core values and we share the same thing, and it really gets you excited about being part of Get in Shape for Women. Now, people who don't have these core values, it repels them, and that's okay. And it's not like in a bad way, like we don't want to be around them, but we know that it wouldn't be a good fit for you to be with Get in Shape for Women, because this is how we live and run and hire and train and fire and do everything in our studios by these core values. Now, when we were asked to kind of define these core values and put them down, this took some time. I mean, this took 4 to 6 months to really make sure that we were not just being willy-nilly and putting down something that didn't fall into that mindset. So when Brian first started off, Brian's our CEO and founder. When he first started off with these core values, he went back to one of his first studios. And he's been running personal training studios for 20 years. And him and his wife were about to get married, and he invited all of the members of his studio to his wedding. And that's where the first one came from. We treat our customers like family. Would you invite your customers to your wedding? And I know that seems like an extreme case, but you think about it. You're around these people all the time. You're helping them grow. You're training them. You're helping them transform their bodies. And you want to be as close to them as your family. You want to treat them as if you would your sister, your brother, or your mother. You want to make sure that you're telling them, you're being honest with them, at the same time loving them, caring for them, and making sure that they're reaching their best goals. So it's not just glad handing them and slapping them on the back and forgetting about all the other things. It's the honest conversation. It's really treating them like a family member, because you want them to succeed as much as you would want your own mother to succeed. We have a passion for health and fitness, and that goes without saying. We wouldn't be in this industry if we didn't have that passion for health and fitness. It's something that's very strong. It's we all really love and understand the power of health and fitness in Get in Shape for Women. We believe in the power of positivity. Like I said, we start every meeting off with a positive focus, and we try to surround ourselves with positivity all the time. We try to reject that negativity and push the negativity out of our lives, because we know how much more accomplished and how much more we can get done by being positive. We wow our customers by exceeding expectations. That's a really, really big one. Some people may have heard the term over promise and under deliver. I'm sorry, under promise, over deliver. And that's basically what we're asking, what we're trying to do. We're trying to not only tell you what we're going to do, but go way above and beyond. And that's really important for our customers who are coming in and may have been in situations where they've failed in, they failed in different workout programs that they've been involved in. They've never been able to lose that weight. They've held on to 30 pounds for way too long, and they need to see, you're telling them you're going to get it off. They need to see those happen, and they need to start seeing results quick, and then their door is going to be blown off. We check our egos at the door. This is important, and this is really hard for a lot of us, because what we have to understand is that there's a lot of accomplished people coming into the franchise, as managers and trainers, and if we come in with an ego, that means we already know everything. That means that you have this ego, you know everything, there's nothing else to be taught to you, and you can't learn anymore if you come in with an ego. But if you check your ego at the door You open up your mind. I think, like Brian always likes to say, and a term that I love, you come in with a mind like water. You can learn more, and there's always more to learn. You never know everything about everything. We are continually learning, and that goes right along. We devour books here. It doesn't matter if it's on fitness, if it's on business. We devour them. We process them. We talk about them. We incorporate them into our business model to make sure that the franchisees are getting the best possible information, as well as our clients getting the best possible information about their workouts, about nutrition, about being held accountable, and all those things really come from us wanting to always be learning more. We believe in honest and open communication. And honest and open communication is the only kind of communication that we believe in here. We can't have this, we can't have a situation where there's something that's fogging up the air because we're not being honest with each other. And when we get that honesty out there, everybody can start moving forward and really in a much better situation. So, we have to be honest with you. When you step on the scale and all of a sudden you're looking at it and you put on 5 pounds over last week, well, our duty is to have that honest communication with you about what happened. Like, where did you know what happened? 9 times out of 10, you know what happened, and we can start working on fixing that. And the same on our side as a corporate, the corporate team talking to a franchisee. If you're having a hard time in your studio, well, we're going to have that honest communication with you about, what's going on, how can we help you, where is the problem, and we can figure it out and then move forward, as opposed to having that, that kind of dishonest air in the room at all times. We believe accountability leads to success. Accountability is part of our 4 components, and it's probably the most important of the 4 components. And we know that it's a lot to hold you, not only hold yourself accountable, but to hold other people accountable as well. But it's really important. It's the way to succeed. So we'll hold you accountable. We want you to hold us accountable, and we need to hold our clients accountable in order to have them have success. And we love what we do. And that goes without saying. For me personally, I made a decision at a very early age, in my early 20s, right after leaving college, that I was only going to follow my passion. And it was something that I really held strong. I would find out what I was passionate about, and then I would go from there, and I would learn how to monetize my passion. So one of my first meetings I had right when I got hired with Brian Cook, our founder, was him talking about how he loves parenting so much more now that he's figured out what he needs to do as a parent, and it's to teach your kids to find their passion, and then after they find their passion, figure out how to make money at doing that. And after having that conversation with Brian, thinking like, oh my God, it's exactly what I do. This is exactly what I have taught myself for my entire life. It was one of those moments where I realized that this guy really does love what he does, and I want to be involved in this organization. And none of us go to work any day. It's not work to us. It's something that's really important. It's a lifestyle to us. So the last part of our vision is our mission. And our current mission is to open up 500 locations by the year 2024 by developing the best fitness franchise model in the world. And I know that sounds like a lofty goal. Right now we're currently at 92 studios, so I understand that sounds like a lofty goal. But we have put together the game plan to do it. We've put together our growth strategy. We've figured out the best way of doing it by combining corporate stores with franchisees own stores, and having the corporate stores support them, and we have a great ability of growing, and we know how to get there, and we want to have you come on board with us, because after we grow 500 locations by 2024, we want to do 5,000 locations, and we know we can, and we know that we have that ability to do so. So everything we do is to empower women through body transformation, and by opening up 500 locations, that's just helping to empower more and more women. Now, to get into body transformation and to our 4 components. Now, this is our model. Our model is these 4 components: and weight training, cardio, nutrition, and accountability. The key is the sum of all parts. You cannot remove any of these parts. You need all these parts in order to be successful, in order to create transformation. And you notice I keep saying transformation, not just like to get a good workout in, because there's great workouts everywhere. There's tons of them. But what there isn't transformation. There's transformation nowhere. So our goal is to create transformation, and we know that scientifically you need these components in order to lose weight and create transformation. Now, we'll get into each one of these as we go. Weight training. This is probably the biggest kind of pushback from a lot of ladies, because they're like, oh, I don't want to do weight training, I don't want to get bulky. You're not going to get bulky because you'd only get bulky if you're, adding a ton of extra weight, isolating your muscles, and adding a ton of calories to increase your bulk. But what you are doing is by weight training is you're increasing your lean body mass. You're building muscle. So if you put on 5 pounds of lean muscle, you burn 200 more calories a day than the person who doesn't have that 5 pounds of muscle. So basically, you're running a 5K every day at a 10-minute mile pace that you put on those 5 extra pounds of muscle. So every day you're running, it's like you're running an extra 10K, 5K, which is phenomenal. I mean, you're constantly burning more muscle. Now, the other pluses about weight training is that you're helping with balance and stability. You're building your core, which is really important for helping to stop injuries as well. You're creating bone density, which is really important, especially with women who are growing older, when osteoporosis is a real issue. You want to help to create bone density, and you create bone density by adding weight at workouts. So there's so many benefits to weight training, and also it helps to burn. You're helping to burn calories to start with. So that's really important. That's the first part of our model. And we do that. We do our weight training systematically with workouts of the week, and these workouts of the week are a bunch of functional movements involving body weight exercises, suspension training like TRX, kettlebells, dumbbells. We have a couple bicep, triceps, and lat pull-down machines, and we send out this workout of the week on a weekly basis to you. So you are getting the workout of the week every week from us, and you can take that workout and implement it into your studio. So it's kind of like one of these no-brainer things. You just have it's there for you to keep moving forward with. And these workouts are done in a high-intensity interval style, where you're doing 35 seconds on, 10 seconds off, and you're really pushing yourself. So by the time you get to your third set, you want to be in an absolute 10, which means that you couldn't do one more set if someone paid you money to do it. One more rep if someone paid you money to do it. So that's how we look at these workouts. Now, cardio is also 25 minutes of high-intensity interval training. And what you want to do cardio for is create that caloric burn and really, really create that big, you're going to burn off all the calories. You're going to get into the fat-burning zone. You're going to increase your HDL, which is a good cholesterol. You're going to lower your blood pressure. You're going to lower your heart rate. And all that is going to come together to create make you healthier. It's going to make, it's going to help. This is what's going to help you really torch those calories. And the way we do it is the most effective way possible of 25 minutes of high-intensity interval training, which means we'll do, for example, 2 minutes of steady state. And steady state means that we would do slightly uncomfortable for you. So, wherever that happens to be, where you're, a slight jog or, a heavy walk where you're slightly uncomfortable, and then 60 seconds of cardio where you're at a 10, where at the end of those 60 seconds, you're just cooked, and you're going out as hard as you possibly can. Now, that means different things for different women. So if it's a woman who's just starting, their 10 could be running at a 5, where if a woman who's a year into the program and is, transformed and really just trying to maintain and put on more muscle, their 10 could be at a 14. They could really cook it and really press hard. So that's one of the things that the trainers are doing. The trainers are really coaching cardio, coaching and training to really make sure people are hitting their 10. The next part is nutrition. And we break nutrition down. We're not registered dietitians. We're not prescribing certain diets. We break nutrition down to where scientifically it works and we simplify it. We take the wow out of eating. We say eat 13 to 1,600 calories per day, 100 grams of protein minimum. And the reason we say 100 grams of protein is because it's really difficult. If you're getting 100 grams of protein in, it's difficult to not eat really well for those 13 to 1,600 calories a day. You're not just filling yourself up with processed junk food and stuff like that for those 13 to 1,600 calories. You're making sure you're getting good protein in. 8 to 10 glasses of water every day. That's really important. Eat 2 to 3 times every 2 to 3 hours. You're eating 5 to 6 times a day, and then you have one free day. And that one free day helps to put some life back in some of these people's faces who are just starting into their transformation. And that one free day, we don't care what you do. Do whatever you want. Eat a pizza. Eat a full 24-inch pizza. We don't care, because it's your day to really kind of just cut loose. But what you'll find is as you grow and as you start really transforming, that free day becomes less and less about overindulging and stuff like that. It becomes more, maybe it's a glass of wine at nighttime. Maybe it's, a pizza with your family or something like that. The free day kind of gets burned out because your body doesn't want it. Your body's clean and it doesn't want that, a bunch of garbage in it anymore. And then accountability. You hold yourself accountable. We help to hold you accountable. And the way we do that is weekly weigh-ins. So every week you step on the scale. We have those honest conversations. If you've lost weight, that's awesome. Then we slap you 5 and we tell the world. If you gain weight, then we have to have that conversation about what happened. And like we said, 9 times out of 10, the women know exactly where their problem is, what happened. They went out to dinner a couple of times last week. They drank a couple glasses of wine 2 or 3 nights, and it just, they can pinpoint exactly the problem. So then you just tweak it and figure out how to stop that behavior, and that comes down to the managing the behavior, and having those hard conversations to manage the behavior. And all that comes back to just really creating more motivation to help you lose weight. So how do I get started? You can get started on this by going on to getinShapeForWomen.com. We have a free report on there called How to Safely Lose 7 Pounds in 7 Days in the Privacy of Your Own Home. Now, it's great if you're looking to just kind of reshape your workout routine, or you want to just kind of maybe you've been out of it for a while and you're really trying to refocus, or I've never done it before. This is a great way to really start. And if you look at the woman on the screen right now is Helen, and she actually did this, and she lost 7 pounds in 7 days. We filmed a video series with her, and you can follow Helen's journey as Brian trains her during those 7 days. So that's the first part of we talked about our unique selling proposition of losing losing weight in a short amount of time. Now let's talk about how to turn this passion into a meaningful career. Now, the career opportunities available at Get in Shape for Women are managers, full-time trainers, and part-time trainers. Now, managers work around 40 to 50 hours a week. They do everything in the studio. They run the studio from, logistical standpoint, scheduling. They do the sales. They run free sessions. They close leads. They do renewals. They do upgrades. They, help make sure that the trainers, the full-time trainers, the part-time trainers are executing the 4 components. And the full-time trainer and the part-time trainer, their major responsibility is to execute the 4 components to a T, to not let anybody go past, to push people to their tents, to talk about nutrition, to coach cardio, and to get and to start talking about to those women about how to maintain their fitness and how to get to their goals. And they need to they need to execute those 4 components to a T, and that's where the managers help to keep those trainers on track. Now, how to apply for one of these positions is to go online at getinshapeforwomen.com/careers, and you can pick a location, fill out your name, email address. You can attach your resume and cover letter, and make sure you pick your desired position as a manager or as a personal trainer, or and then you want to pick the location you want to work at. So maybe there's a studio close to you. If you're in an area where there is no studios, put in the there's an option to put in an area that you want to see a studio open up in, and then we can go back and go, okay, well, let's we have somebody in that area. Now there's some talent there. Let's start getting some people to that area because we know we have some talent in that area. So those are the ways you want to apply or how to apply. You can see we have 16 states, 92 locations, a lot of opportunity out there, and we're growing and growing. So make sure you're putting in your resume. Make sure you're letting people know that you want to be out there, because that gives us the opportunity to really know where the talent is and push people into that direction. And these are our areas of focus that we're growing in. This is not the end-all be-all. This is not the only places we're growing, but this is an idea of where we're starting to see some growth. And this is where we think that, in the New England Northeast area, New York area, you can see how many studios that we think we could put in there, in the Mid-Atlantic. So these are all just kind of like numbers right now that we really think we could put some great focus in. All right. So that's the webinar. I mean, that's how to turn that into your passion into a meaningful career. Now let's talk about how to open your own Get in Shape for Women franchise. So again, we'll go back to that map, the area of focus, and you kind of see these are not, again, this is not the end-all be-all, but this is just some focus areas that we know we could really, really grow in. And we get to grow. We want to grow all across the country. We want to be in all 50 states. So if you have a location in Idaho that you're interested in, Oregon that you're interested in, if you're in Nevada, doesn't mean because there's nothing there that we're not growing there. We're most certainly growing there, and we're going to grow. We want to grow quite a bit across the entire country. We're going to look for areas that have great population and great median income, and that's how we pick the location we move to. Now this is our startup flow chart. You're in the webinar now, so you can check that box. The next step after that would be your initial phone call, and that's we're going to give you information later on how to schedule your initial phone call. After that, the Discovery Day will give you information when to attend our Discovery Day. Discovery Day is really important. It's where we really dig deep. We hold it at our corporate office. We really dig deep into what is Get in Shape for Women, and we talk about our systems, we talk about our growth strategies, we talk about our key areas of focus, we talk about our marketing, our technology, and you get a chance to meet all of us, from the founder, CEO, to me, to everybody in our corporate office, and you can see how that works. After Discovery Day, you'll hold your territory during your disclosure period. So I'll send you the FDD, which is the franchise disclosure document, and you then will have 15 days before you can sign, but we'll hold territories for you during those 15 days. You then have the opportunity after those 15 days are up to sign your franchise agreement. And then we start with a new franchisee checklist, and we start with site selection and lease negotiation. So during your hold period, we will make sure your disclosure period, we'll make sure that we're looking for locations. So once you sign your FDD and your franchise agreement, we'll start sending out LOIs, which are letters of intent to landlords, and we'll really start to really focus on getting those studios. Like, all right, now we have you on as a franchisee, let's get a lease started immediately. We'll work with you on lease negotiation. We'll make sure that you're getting the best protection, the best renewal process, the best options, the best price. We're going to really work very diligently on that. We'll build a floor plan out for you. You'll work with me during your build out. We'll help you. We'll give you the construction manual, so you'll go through the construction manual and the new franchisee checklist with me. You'll start to hire your team. You'll learn best practices for hiring your team at franchise school. We'll give you best practices for putting out the ads of what you want to be looking for. Franchise school is a 40-hour work week at the corporate office of really in-depth training, and you learn everything from pre-session steps to phone call script to objection handling to running a workout to training a workout to running a free session to how the operations are run, the marketing, and really, really in-depth. We do, it's 5 straight days of really great, fun, motivational training. Then we have a grand opening, first site visit, a couple days after your grand opening, continued support throughout your entire time with Get in Shape for Women, 1-year analysis to check to see where you're at, and then hopefully opening up your second studio. These are some of the manuals we use. Our new franchisee checklist lists all the things that we that you need to purchase and buy during, your all the things you're about your insurance, about setting up your email accounts, about what equipment we use, about the paint color we have, all that stuff in there. Construction manual is, you can give this manual right to one of our give that manual right to a contractor that you find, and they can give you a quote. Everything is in there. There's nothing they have to worry about, or they don't have to reinvent the wheel. And then the operations manual, which is kind of the Bible of Get in Shape for Women. It's all the information that we have in there. The startup costs, the range we say is around $51,000 to $200,000, and I know that seems like a big range. The reason we have such a big range is because there's a lot of factors that go into that. One is, what is your rent? What is your lease? How much are you paying for that? It's sometimes a landlord will give tenant improvement money, TI money, or they'll do the build out for you with their construction company, and they'll build that into your rent. Or sometimes they don't do anything, and you are paying a full build out. If you buy all your equipment up front, that's going to cost more money. But if you finance your equipment, you're going to save some money there. So there's so much that's kind of in there, so much range. So $51,000 to $200,000 is the range, and you can see how it is. The build out 0 to $5,000, the additional funds. That's just how to run your the funds you need to run your business after you open, and then the equipment costs. This is the hours of operation. This is when we're open, and this is the minimum opening for all of our studios. So we open Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 12. We break from 12 to 4, and then we open 4 to 8. Then Saturdays we're open 8 to 12, and that's 54 hours. That's the minimum hours of operations. And you can as you grow and you start to fill up, you will be able to expand those hours. Maybe you open up at 5:30. Maybe you stay open till 12:30. You open back up at 3:30 and you close at 8:30. And there you go. You added a couple more hours in. Maybe you open up at 6 a.m. on Saturdays if you have the draw for it. And the managers are in there. They're working between 40 to 50 hours. Your full-time trainer is around 40 hours a week, and then your part-time trainer is up to 50. Typically around 14, 15 hours. But as you grow, you probably use your part-time trainer more. And this is a sample studio expense of how a monthly expense would typically look for a studio. Rent anywhere from $25,000 to $35,000. We have some rents that are higher, some rents that are lower, so we just kind of use that as a ballpark figure. Utilities are around $800. Local advertising is $5,000. That's the marketing that we do every month. It's well worth it. The national fund is that's what helps pay for our our public relations companies and our all those different things. It's about $400. Travel and meeting. You can kind of go down the list and see the kind of big question marks are your royalties, which is 6% of your weekly income, and your weekly revenues, and your lease and how you have your lease structured. So it's kind of a sample of expenses of what you see our studios at. And here's our training options. This is the what the women will pay for 3 months. Is $31 per session. If they sign up for a 3-month package, a 6-month package is $26 per session, and a 12-month package is $21 per session. And you can see on the right-hand side, if they go 2 times a week, 3 times a week, 4 times a week, what they're paying, and how many, how that breaks down. And this is the revenue streams. Now, the revenue stream, the biggest revenue stream is new sales, and that's the people coming in the door from the marketing and people who've never been part of the studio before. The next, after that, we have upgrades, which are, so if someone signs up for a 3-month or a 6-month package, they have the opportunity after 30 days to upgrade to the 6-month or 12-month package, and they get the prorated price of $21 or $26 per session, depending on how they sign up. And then renewals, and renewals are, you know, really, really big. Renewals are all those people who are you've created the transformation with, and just keeping them in the studio because they want to continue to transform. They want to continue to maintain their weight, put on more muscle. They love the community. So that's where all those renewals are every client is really a lead in order to renew them. But the way to get there is to make sure that they're transforming. Protein sales, we have that in there. It's a minimal amount, but it is, you know, we definitely have it in there. And we track protein sales. We know how many people are then pushing the nutrition and making sure that the women are getting the proper amount of protein. And athletic clothing line, we have that coming soon. We're working with a couple of vendors right now. One in particular who has a clothing line that's similar to like a Lululemon, but you can self-brand it, and then it just adds another revenue stream. Now, this is our financial performance representation. This is item 19, or FTD. This is, in franchising, we have to be very careful about making any sort of performance claim, financial performance claim. It's against the law. We can't tell you, you know, oh, sign the dotted line, you'll make $1 million in your first 6 months. You know, we can't do that. It's, you know, it's not fair to you, and it's against the law for us to do it. What we can do is we can put out there exactly, you know, in item 19, a financial performance representation of studios that are currently open. And we do that at the time to open of greater than 1 day. So anybody could be, you know, someone could be open for 1 day, they could be open for 5 years, and then we put that all in there. So at the, you know, this is from last year's, this year's FTD. We had 92 studios open for greater than 1 day. The average monthly revenues were $25,000, and the average monthly expenses before manager salary, so basically owner operator, was $18,000. With an income of about $79,000. That's just the average. And, you know, typically we don't want people who are aiming to be average, but that is the average, and around half of our studios reach that goal. Now, the top 10% of our studios we also list, and their monthly revenues were $38,000, with a average expenses of $25.66 before manager salary, so owner operator, and their income was around $220,000 per year before manager salary. So you can see, like, there's you know, great potential here. And this is our top 10 studios from last year. You can see some really just wonderful big numbers there. And it's not like half those studios are multi-unit owners, half are owner operators, half are with a manager in there. So there's no, like, you know, real, oh, you're going to be best if you do blank. You know, we have, you know, a good combination of everybody in there. So that is our financial representation. So now you kind of, you know, in the next step would be the next step, you know, after you sign your FTD would be site selection. So let's imagine you've gone through all these processes, you've come to Discovery Day, you sign your FTD. We're going to really get into site selection, and we're going to start talking about, you know, what we look for in territory and demographics. Now, we use GISFW kind of as a preliminary thing. It's a free website. We tell you can go on there as well, and, you know, go and start looking up locations. It's preliminary research, and you can see, like, for example, this is like New York area, and Scarsdale, New York has a median income of $122,000 and a population of 38,000. That is unbelievable, like, great. That is the stuff we're looking for. We want to make sure we have a good combination of high population, high median income. It doesn't need to be all median income, doesn't be all population. You want a good combination of both, because, you know, 38,000, that's 16,000 plus women in Scarsdale, and you need 150 women to fill your studio. So there's tons of potential in that area. You know that you can fill your studio. So that's how we look at it. That's kind of the demographics we look at. And then we'll start looking in, you know, with different locations like Craigslist and LoopNet and CoStar. I have an extensive list of brokers who I work with throughout the country who can get us the areas we're looking for. We're looking for 700 to 1,200 square feet locations. We're looking for great rent. We're looking for great parking. We want, you know, a good anchor if we can get it. This is a location that's available in Great Neck, New York. You saw great population there. minimally divisible down to 1,100 square feet. So that's great opportunity to put a great studio in there. And then we look at the demographics. We do the 1 mile, the 2 mile, the 3 mile. Then we're starting to get a little bit more in depth of what we're using. We're going to use some different demographic research stuff. We're going to get really deep into, all right, well, let's look at this 164 Northern Boulevard, Great Neck, New York, and figure out what's available there for demographics. And you can see population in the 3 mile radius in 2013 was 191,000 people in 3 miles of that studio. That's a lot of people, and you can see the median household income was 82,000. That's a great territory, great area, tons of people, lots of money, and the ability to really fill a studio quickly because you have the clientele there. Afterwards, after we sign the lease, we can build out a floor plan for you. This is a floor plan of our Santa Rosa location that I built. This will give you the opportunity to really go and look at a studio and go, oh man, I could walk into this vanilla box of just white walls and see that I really have some great potential of turning this into this studio. I mean, look at it. I mean, you can go in there and envision your studio as you walk in the front door. And then support. Support is really important to us. And you know, I had a guy I just recently spoke with, and he was part of another franchise for a while, out of fitness, doing something different. And he talked about he bought into the franchise, hoping, you know, with the idea of getting that support, but he felt like he was like on an island all by himself so much. He never felt like he was supported. And the reason you're buying into a franchise is you want to be a small business owner with the ability to get support of all the of the years and years of things we've learned and mistakes we've made and been able to fix. Well, you're going to get all that support. So we do that through a bunch of different methods. Franchise school is a huge thing. It's coming up once a month. It's all owners and managers come to franchise school, and it's really an opportunity to learn the best possible way how to run a studio. It's you learn, again, I talked about it earlier. I don't want to get back into it again, but you really learn a ton about how to run a studio. And in fact, we have franchise school going on right now, and the women and men who are in it right now are just getting as much possible information, and they can go back now and really be successful in the studio. Weekly focus call. That's every Monday morning is at 10 a.m. Brian and Lou run this weekly focus call, and what it does is it sets you up for the week. It gets you. It helps to get your priorities set for the week. It helps to have you focus on what you need to, what are your top 3 priorities? What is on your to-do list, and what needs to get accomplished? We also have monthly coaching sessions that Brian and Lou also run via webinar. So we run a webinar every month for all of our owners to really get all the support. And then we have quarterly coaching sessions that you come to the corporate office, or we host them at the Sheraton or somewhere nearby, because we have a lot of people coming in. And it's really focused. It's a quarterly coach session. It's learning. It's going on into the system. It's teaching about the 4 key areas, but it's also more than that. It's helping with your growth strategy and making sure that you're on the right track to, that when I say growth strategy, it could be that you want to own 1 studio and work 5 hours a week, or you want to own 12 studios. It's really kind of like helping you to coach into where you want to grow. And then we have our annual convention. And in fact, our annual convention this week, as I mentioned earlier, and it's really exciting. It's such a fun event. We have some really focused. We have that quarterly coaching session to start with, and then we have owners meetings the next day, and then we have a great awards dinner. It's really fun. It's really fun event. So the system is another form of support. Our Get in Shape for Women system is how we run our studio. It's how these things are diagnostic tools for us to go in and to help you run your studio. And then when you're having troubles, to then use this system to diagnose where your troubles are. Maybe you're missing something in the marketing. Maybe you're missing something in, or 1 or 2 things in sales. Maybe you're not creating a new client experience. Maybe you're leaving out something out of body transformation, and that's and something there is helping out. We need to help you to use this system. Works every time. When you come to franchise school and you sign your franchise agreement, you'll get a copy of the system with all the boxes filled in. It works 100% of the time, and if you follow it, it will help you to be successful when you follow this system. Here's a copy of here's a picture of one of our quarterly coaching sessions that we had recently. This is managers from different studios from around, and we had them do roundtables, and we had them learn from each other to really dig into. All right, let's figure out. What do you do that helps you be successful? What do you do in your studio that you see is has been a great liability to hurt your studio, or has been a great asset to really help your studio. And so we have our managers, and we do the same thing with our owners. Our quarterly coaching with our owners, and we make sure that they're doing the same thing and they're learning as well. We give out awards on a monthly, quarterly, and annual basis. So the monthly awards, we do a first place trophy, and we also show our top 10 boards to everybody. We do a quarterly first place trophy and show our top 10. And then we do annual first place trophy. And I should actually add into this, we actually do an annual first place. We do annual multi-unit owner of the year. And we give trophies to all of our top 10 studios for the entire year. These are our top 10 owners from 2013. Now, the reason I don't have the 2014 top 10 owners out because they don't know yet, because we haven't announced it yet. We'll announce it at our annual convention this weekend, and we'll get a chance to change up those pictures. So, but these are 2013 top 10 owners, really phenomenal owners. They did such a great job at at running their studios and really knocking it out of the park. Here's some technology we're using. We've recently switched over to MindBody, which is a kind of a fitness fitness-driven kind of support system for studios where they can put in packages, where they can track their clients, where they can track their clients, transformation. Their clients can check in with a key tag. It's all automated. It's very automatic. You can run reports to it. It's the best on the market right now for technology. Next thing I want to get into a little bit is our strategic planning. This is kind of some of the stuff we do to help achieve our goals. Our Everest mission is a kind of a goal planning mission. It's a lot of our 10x growth strategy as well. So we look at, okay, where are you today? At 0 customers, 0 revenue, 0 studios. Well, where do you want to be in, at Camp 1 in 2015 or 2016? This is from last year's. And so, you build out your 5-year plan. And when you build out a 5-year plan, you can really go and then talk with your managers and your trainers and build it out with them so they can see that, hey guys, this is not a one-time deal. I want to make sure that you are, I want to build up 5 studios, or I want to make sure that we're doing this and we have this kind of clientele and you're making this kind of money, because we know the ability of doing that. And so when you plan in that 5-year period, we know that you can then really see and set a track for yourself to get to there. All right, so the next step, guys, after today's webinar is to set up an initial phone call with me. I'm going to give you my information. I'm going to put this up at the end of the webinar as well, and I'll leave it open for a little bit so you can track down this information again. I'm Dan Henry, like I said. Here's my phone number and my direct extension, and here's my email address. Give me a call, shoot me an email. Let's set up our first conversation. That's your next step. After that, we want to go to Discovery Day. So when you go to Discovery Day, you're going to come to our corporate studio. It's your opportunity to really, like I said, dig in with me and Lou and Brian and Dave and Stephanie and Katie and everybody involved. You get to meet everybody, and it's a really great experience. Our next Discovery Day is Friday, February 27th, from 10 to 3 at our corporate office in Needham, Mass. So I will also send you tonight a link to sign up for next Discovery Day. And when we have our initial phone call, I'll talk to you more in depth about what Discovery is and what to expect. Here's some just accolades that we've had in the last couple of years. We've had a really great run. We've been on the Entrepreneur Franchise 500 for the past 5 years or 6 years. We've been part of the Inc. 5000 for a good amount of years, and these are just some of the numbers that we have that are, we haven't got our new numbers yet, but we've had some really great success with just growing, and we want to continue to grow and want to be number one day. We will be number one day. Like I said, we are devoted readers and learners here. Here are some books that we really love. Why Small, the E-Myth and the E-Myth Enterprise, why small businesses fail and how to stop that. And, it's kind of the message from there. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he talks about following two dads, a rich dad and a poor dad, and how they, in teaching their kids about, basically he's saying that in order to be wealthy it's investing in asset earning material businesses. So a business would be an asset earning venture, and so that's something that's really important to us, because we know that if you're getting shape for women is definitely collecting assets. Good to Great is learning about being what the difference is from good to great companies. He tracks these 13 companies that go from being good, and he compares them to what he considers great, and he has a criteria of what is great, and he tracks them against companies of similar, doing the similar thing, and why they're just okay and why the other ones were considered great and had huge growth. And that's, again, great by choice. Another thing, he talks about how you be great, and he talks about one of the big thing is good is the enemy of great. You just don't want to be good, you want to be great. Like I said, you don't want to be average, you want to be top 10. You want to be number one. Mastering the Rockefeller Habits. That really gets into how to run the business. We really use a lot of his techniques to help run our business. Priorities, data, and goals, and all that stuff that we really focus on to make sure that we're running our business the best way. Think and Grow Rich was Napoleon Hill, and it's really one of the greatest books about how thoughts are things and how positive mental attitude is the ability to, is going to help you to grow. And then Unique Ability is something part of Strategic Coach that Brian's part of, and it's finding your unique ability and learning how to use unique abilities to your best part, but then also surrounding yourself with people who have unique abilities that are complementary to you to be successful. Some really great inspiring TED Talks. Simon Sinek's TED Talks, How Great Leaders Inspire Action, is something that I go to probably once a month. It is one of my favorite TED Talks I've ever seen. It is inspirational. It is something that when I need to get regrounded, really, really wonderful TED Talk that I really enjoy. And the other ones are really great as well. You can see Sir Ken Robinson's 23 million views there, and these are really great, inspiring talks. So now you made it through our 3 areas, guys. You've gotten through the 3 checkpoints. I really, really appreciate you guys taking your time with me today. I look forward to your initial phone call with me. I really loved having that first phone call, because I know I just give you a ton of information, and I really want to help to distill some of that information for you and to help you to understand it as much as possible, and then really help you make your decision about coming to Discovery Day. Now, guys, final thoughts is something we always do to kind of end our meeting, and my final thought, and I suggest you doing this as well, doing it with yourself, doing it with someone who's in the room with you, doing it, writing it down, writing it into me. My final thought today is just kind of, I want to talk about meaningful work. That's something I didn't really touch too much upon, is that, we talk about how we love what we do, and there's so many people out there who are just working. And they have a good paying job, and they do what they do, and they get paid well, and it's shit, but what it is to them, it's a job, it's just work. And the difference between working and doing meaningful work is amazing. When you're able to create your job and create your position around doing meaningful work, it is something that's really, really special and really important. And I want you to think about that, and I know that this is something that I know that what I do is meaningful. And I get up every morning, and I love what I do, and I know that I'm helping to inspire a lot of people and helping to help them turn on their passion. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to leave up this last slide with my information. It's got my information on it. It's also got Discover Day information. I really look forward to catching up with you. If you have any questions, we can answer all those in our initial phone call. I'll talk to you all soon, and thank you again, and have a great weekend and a great month, and I'll talk to you soon.